booklet. So we'll kind of keep all those together. Your reading material. Now, I haven't even looked into any of these things.
That's sometimes the best way to go, because it's spontaneous.
Some of these, there's a 4th generation of the Herodines. My my great-grandpa Sam, he lived well into his 90s, I think.
Passports, I know.
I think anything I had, I just kind of,
Same address. We have Larry Starhead's passport?
we do.
No, is that an emergency contact?
I would think so.
That would be weird. Look at how they have the numbers up here. Oh, Betty, not Larry. Oh, there's Grandpa. I was scared to. Oh, it has their stamps.
Yeah.
So they always went on those
West Michigan Tourist Association trips.
So they were members of the West Michigan Tourist Association.
In 1980, admitted O'Hare Airport, U.S. Customs, U.S. Immigration.
I mean, this is gonna have a lot of Grandpa Herodine that I'll just kind of set aside, huh?
Well, a lot of it's coming back and not where they went. But they went to like Spain and
Yugoslavia.
they traveled all over with the association.
I've got Grandma's old driver's license even.
I had a driver's license that's like this.
I don't know where everybody was playing pool. Well, that might have been in our basement in Kalamazoo, because that's our house in Kalamazoo.
Your house growing up.
Mm-hmm. We were gonna drive up there sometime. We'll still do that, not necessarily for the,
Another passport.
I mean, even just like having passports and traveling internationally and
There's 2 photos in this passport. Oh, jeez.
canceled. Is that a passport?
Yeah,
That's huge.
it is huge.
Is that Grandma's or Grandpa Carl's? Oh, that was their picture?
Mm-hmm.
It could just like put a family picture in and was smiling. Not so.
This one I think has a international stamp on it, but I can't tell what it is. You can't read it clearly, but oh, and this is also a notice. Oh, you can't visit.
Don't go to North Korea. That's been around for a while.
But this was in '73. Oh, why do you, what? I feel like I missed a step.
These are all the donations to. Is that Grandpa in the chef's hat?
that's at Seal Test.
Oh, that's at Seal's Test.
Yeah, he was the plant manager. That kept him out of going to World War II.
You said he
Because
got
that
to
was
hand out the
Because ice cream was important.
Well, milk, they did milk, and here's a whole big article on Grandpa. Harridan has milked full life from career in the dairy industry. We could do a whole intensive on him.
Oh. Look at how young Grandpa is.
And Carl Harridan, owner of the Richelieu Lodge at Three Rivers, accepts a Michigan Minuteman Award from Governor William G. Milken on the Capitol steps in Lansing. 25 citizens who have taken a minute to talk up Michigan received awards May 25th in the Michigan Week ceremony.
This is when he applied for his social security number, and what's the date? I don't see a date on it. This is his birth date. $1947. He made $3,000.
This has an entire little history of the lodge. That's what it says Toledo. Because it talks about like when
We
he
do come from Toledo. That's a cool photo. Carl's first job at the Detroit Creamery.
Yeah, they lived in Detroit when they were first married.
I never knew. I wonder where the Detroit Creamery was.
I'm sure it
Where-
was downtown someplace.
Look that up. So how long did they live in Detroit?
Not long. I was born in Kalamazoo. I'm thinking maybe even Betty was born in Kalamazoo. I'll have to ask her that.
Where she was born.
Mm-hmm.
So Ramsey, when did he work for Ramsey?
In the mid-50s.
So he worked for Detroit Creamery, then Seal Test,
Mm-hmm.
then Ramsey,
Mm-hmm.
and Ramsey brought him to the lodge.
No, Ramsey brought him to Cleveland. It was a flavoring company.
But who was he calling on? Here?
Yonkers,
Was Ramsey or when he was
No.
with Seal Test?
with Seal Test.
Oh.
Yeah. They were a Seal Test customer.
I always thought they were a Ramsey customer.
Mm-mm.
Oh my goodness, they're on the chairlift.
Oh, did you see Grandma doing that hang gliding? I got a picture of doing that too.
Calm under pressure, that's Grandma.
Here's Betty's wedding announcement, or wedding invitation. Yeah, I haven't been through any of this at all. I just brought the boxes
This
down.
is fascinating. There's no date on it. It
We need
must
the
have
date
been part of the
first.
tourist association thing, maybe. They went up north.
I wonder what that
Or it's Swiss Valley.
would be funny.
Grandma's smiling.
This one just says 17.
This is
I
their
don't know what it means,
60th
though.
wedding anniversary.
She's always much more sweet. I like her smile. But I guess this was trained, as we saw from
Yes, childhood.
childhood. Don't smile for photographs.
I like Carl's. He was looks like he was like caught off guard by the camera.
This looks like early 80s outfit, maybe? Late 70s? I don't know.
I feel like the shirt,
The
like,
collar
is,
out?
like 70s-esque, but
Here's Grandpa meeting Fred Upton.
he's Fred Upton.
He's our representative in Congress.
All the political things. I love that. Oh, these are all like the he was picking, which, did you, I don't know if Grandma saw this, like, the passport photo.
It was of the two of them.
But it was only for Carl's passport.
Hmm.
But you could pick like fun family
They
photographs.
didn't have to take it right then, huh?
Well, no, it looks like, there were several to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess he decided, and then they like stamp it in with a little code of some sort.
But it's funny that now, now we just gotta be like that.
Ooh, a street guy.
I'll have to see if I've got any pictures of when we used to go down and I think I told you, Amy, when the troop train came through Kalamazoo and Grandpa being at seal test, they would take a big truck filled with Dixie cups down and the troop train would stop and Betty, Ed and I, well Ed wasn't, just Betty and I probably, would hand these Dixie cups to all the soldiers on the troop trains.
I was able to find some old seal test Dixie cup lids.
Were you really? Where'd you find those?
There's a website that is like, I guess, a froyo enthusiast history World War II buff. And there was one that said seal test. The other one I didn't know because it had a bunch of like World War II like photos on the lids themselves. So it'd be like either like a soldier or like an entire little scene. Oh, judging dairy products.
Grandpa went to all these contests that they would judge, like cottage cheese and milk and things, and this.
What's the photo that's at the top photo? What does that say?
This Malcolm Trout was I don't know if he was at Illinois or Michigan State.
Opal was the first person to sign, and she
Hmm.
gave the
This is all
anniversary
from
book.
Michigan State University professors.
Mm-hmm. So I guess with Grandma's early married life, she worked at Doubleday's and
What was double days?
the office supply place.
Double days. Okay.
And then was a stay-at-home mom, but she made chili for the little local grocery store for that people would come in and carry out. I remember her cooking a huge pot of chili every day and taking it up to this grocery store. And I don't know if we found the,
Recipe?
yeah.
So from the time you were born till you were 9, she was home with you,
Mm-hmm. Making chili.
making chili every day. Did that make you like chili or not like chili? Did you eat chili every day?
I think this is her old chili recipe.
Oh, it's the tomato paste.
Tomato soup, what? Or no, it was tomato
There's tomato paste.
paste. Okay.
Ground beef, kidney beans, tomato paste, tomato juice. That could be what you're
That
thinking.
it is. Mm-hmm.
Salt, chili powder, Lowry seasoning salt, garlic, and MSG. This is where I get all the things I like to eat.
You should just make this chili recipe.
We will. We'll make the chili recipe. We've got to get like a picture of like I think this recipe box will be a good art piece, you know.
I think so too. You just actually just turn it into a cookbook at the very end.
It could, because there's
a ton of.
uh-huh.
Do you guys have any like favorite recipes that was cooked at the lodge?
Well, I'm
or-
trying to remember, because when all of us grandkids were there, you know, she had at times 5 of us, because Jeff wasn't born. There's always the one person that wasn't born.
Poor baby of the family.
Or he was an infant, so he wasn't gathered around. But she fed us
Oh, I know what you, I mean, she,
3 meals a day or
Yeah.
whatever. And there was always a sloppy Joe night each week, I think. We had corn. I don't know why sloppy Joe night's the one that stands out to me. And
Does it include chili?
when what kind of sloppy?
Yeah.
And when my friend Cindy came to visit, and she had never had like corn from Corn on the Cob, so that was
she never had to, where you shucked it to eat too.
well, and then then she just started like eating it. They're like, oh my gosh, she's eating the corn raw. She's like, but it's good. And so then she was telling her mom on the phone about eating the corn, and then she goes, and they don't have drains here because we didn't have a garbage disposal. And then when we said, well, we were having sloppy joes for a meal, she goes, what's a sloppy joe? But she went along with it. She loved being here. She went along
Well,
with
I
everything.
think the laundry, because we hung it out on the
Oh,
line.
yeah.
And she said, oh my goodness, my jeans are so stiff they can stand up all by themselves.
Then there was the cottage food.
Oh, here's Grandpa Haradine's medals from his judging medals.
When he was a judge, or when he got awarded?
When he got awarded.
Also, it was funny that you say that the sloppy joe stood out to you because in Canton, when I went to that school for a single year, sloppy joes is the meal that stood out to me that they would always have. I think it's just one of those standout meals.
Because I don't know that you made sloppy joes really.
Me?
Because
I think occasionally I did.
we had like kind of a set routine too, where there was the fish and mac and cheese day and the corned beef or chipped beef on toast day.
Yeah.
And I mean when we were little in California, but I don't necessarily remember sloppy joes. Seemed like that was an up there here.
So as far as these years, you know, because then we went right into the war years. So everybody did, you know, special thing. We had a victory garden. We turned half of our backyard into a garden because food was scarce and everything was rationed. So if you wanted a bag of sugar, you had to take your, seems like I found
Like a
some ration stamps someplace.
I feel like you remember telling me about the
So
To get gas, you only could get so much.
So that started when you were around 5, 7? When did we get into the war? 43? 41? 41?
Yeah, I think
You were
41,
5. So
yeah.
you were 5. So you
I-
had 5 years of just grandma staying at home making chili every day.
Yeah, and gardening. Grandpa was the air raid warden, so we'd have these air raid.
Well, no, like, so your first 5 years, before we get to the war years.
Oh, okay.
Grandpa was at SEAL Test.
Mm-hmm.
Grandma was home. She started staying home after you were born.
Mm-hmm.
And making chili every day.
Mm-hmm.
And then getting Betty to school, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we were within walking distance of school, so we always walked to school, walked home for lunch, walked back after lunch, and just walked down it. That's why we'll drive by the house that had an alley behind our house, so we just walked down the alley and there was our school.
Okay. And then you hadn't learned to swim or any of that at that point in that pond yet, or that lake?
Woods Lake. I'm thinking we got down there when I was 5 or 6 or so. Pretty
Ice
early
skating
on.
and
Yeah.
swimming, so everything was good, and then the war hit.
Mhm. And I mean, I guess our lives kind of went on.
That's what I wondered. Did it feel like it changed?
Just the rationing, and we saved everything. I mean, balls of tin foil, string. You
Well,
had
that continued all the way through my childhood.
that. I saved all that stuff.
Yeah. That never stopped.
My grandma used to take tin foil and wash it all off and reuse
Yeah, you did
it.
that too.
Well, you know, you kind of do what your environment
No,
allows
I
you to
know.
do.
Like, but that all started in the war years.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a Depression era holdover. Maybe it was
A
both.
little of both, yeah.
That you just had to.
But the warriors was when everything was rationed. That you just couldn't waste anything.
Because I think all of my friends basically talk about their parents, and you opened packages carefully and you saved wrapping paper
Oh,
and
yeah.
you saved the tin foil and you reused everything, and then we became the disposable society where everything threw away, but now we're back to the recycling society, so the throwaway.
In fact, I kind of made a list of some of Grandma's favorite expressions I'll get.
So how's our time doing? Should we restart?
Yeah, I can do that.